Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Venom issue 1. Before I start talking about Venom, just want to give you guys a couple updates. Of course, I have Comic Uno episode 171, and that show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show, and also the exclusive comics for that show are in the description below, and Comic Uno episode will be posted Friday. But let's start talking about Venom issue 1. So, this is a book I kinda on whim got just because it was a light week, and I am obviously a huge Spider-Man fan, but Venom I've always just liked reading in other titles, never really his own title. But I gave Venom a try, so let's see what's going on with this issue. Beautiful cover here, really like the art for Venom, and he definitely looks very monstrous here. Some really great detail towards his face, really cool cover. Now let's start talking about the interior artwork. I will say this book is a bit dark, but obviously it works because this is a darker toned book, and the colors definitely mesh well where it's not so dark that you can't really concentrate on the story. It's just dark enough to set tone. And I will say I really liked how Venom looked here because most of the time Venom is very weak. He's looking for a host. We don't really know why. What happened to Flash Thompson, we don't know. Hopefully we find out in another title. But he is weak, and I really like the way Venom looked. I will say though, the characters I didn't really like is the human characters. I didn't really like the style of our new main character. He kind of had this abstract look to himself. Here's another example. I just feel like some of the portions were weird for me. So the actual people in this book I didn't love the art for, but I did like the tone, and I did like Venom himself. So let's start talking about the story. So the story is about this new character. A character who's gone through a lot in his life. He lost his parents at a young age, and he's seen powers and people with powers in a different way. He thinks that if you have power, it's much easier to be a villain than it is to be a hero. So he definitely has a different perspective on that. And then we also see that he was a soldier, so he's very similar to Flash Thompson's character, and when him and the Venom connect, you see that you know, Venom in a way wants to be a hero, the actual symbiote, because he's used to being a hero, but our host here is not used to being a hero, which is interesting because it's always usually the opposite. You know, a normal guy who wants, you know, doesn't want anything really, he's just a normal guy, and then the Venom is the one that kind of shapes him to be the villain. But then Flash kind of nurtured the Venom symbiote to be a better I guess, you know, creature. I can't say person, but a better creature. And now we see this character who is not like Flash. He doesn't have heroic instinct, so how is that going to change the symbiote? So that's going to be very interesting. But what do I think of the story overall? It's kind of hard to rate, because even though I think this comic had a lot of potential, there were a lot of low moments. I don't think I was completely invested into the character. I was invested to the idea of the character, but not the story itself. So for me, because of the art style that I didn't like, I am going to lean more towards a 2.5 star rating, because it didn't hook me to get the next issue. Even though there are some interesting concepts, it didn't get me excited to pick up the next issue or really want to pick up the next issue. And I think a big reason for that is that it feels a little bit too fresh and too much like a first page comic where I want to know what happened to Flash, you know? I feel like there's too many missing pieces. If you are into the Spider-Man mythos, if you like Venom, I wanted the missing piece. Like just maybe Flash showing up in a panel in this issue would have made this issue a little bit better and cohesive. It just, like, that's the one problem I've been having a lot with these Marvel events. And Marvel now is that there's too many missing pieces when we get to the first issue, because either Guardians didn't finish Flash's story, Civil War 2 didn't end, so that is the big reason why I couldn't get into this story and invest into this character as much, as I'm like, why is the Venom here? Why does the Venom need another person? So I want that missing piece of the puzzle, but I think I'll get issue 2 probably digitally, kind of try it out, seeing more of this character, because like I said, there is potential for the book, but I think this book could have waited like another 2 months to come out. That way we could have had those missing pieces with Flash and Guardians of the Galaxy. So I give Venom issue 1 2.5 stars. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, in the description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.